Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a young woman named Ada. Ada was a bright and curious student at the University of Lagos, studying literature. She loved books and stories, but her life was quite ordinary, until one fateful day. Ada's best friend, Kimmy, was supposed to interview a wealthy and mysterious businessman named Chike Obi for their school magazine. But Kimmy fell ill, and Ada had to step in. Chike Obi was known for his successful company, Obi Enterprises, and his enigmatic personality. Ada was nervous but excited to meet him. When Ada arrived at Chike's office in the heart of Victoria Island, she tripped over her own feet and spilled her notes everywhere. Chike, a tall and handsome man with piercing eyes, helped her up. He was intrigued by her clumsiness and her genuine nature. Their conversation was awkward, but there was a spark between them. A few days later, Ada was working at her part-time job at a local market in Surulere when Chike suddenly appeared. He bought some unusual items: rope, candles, and a blindfold. Ada was puzzled but didn't ask questions. Before leaving, Chike invited her to a photo shoot for the magazine article at the luxurious Eco Hotel. At the photo shoot, Ada felt out of place among the glamorous models and fancy decorations. But Chike's attention was solely on her. After the shoot, they went for a drink at a nearby cafe. Over a cup of Zobo, Chike dropped a bombshell. "I don't do romance," he said, handing her a rare book of African folktales with a note that read, "Beware of the unknown." Ada was confused but intrigued. Who was this man, and what was he hiding? She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Chike than his polished exterior. As she flipped through the book later that night, she wondered if the folktales held a clue to his enigmatic nature. One evening, Ada was celebrating her upcoming graduation with friends at a popular hangout spot in Lekki. She had a bit too much palm wine and, in her tipsy state, decided to call Chike. He answered immediately and, sensing her distress, came to pick her up. He took her to his penthouse in Ikoyi, where she spent the night safely. The next morning, Ada woke up in a luxurious room, feeling both embarrassed and curious. Chike showed her around his home, and then he revealed his secret: a hidden room filled with strange objects, ropes, chains, and masks. He called it the Red Room of Secrets. Chike explained that he was a dominant, someone who liked to be in control, and he wanted Ada to be his submissive. He gave her a contract to sign, outlining the rules of their relationship. Ada hesitated. She had heard about BDSM, but knew little about it. "Isn't this about trust and consent?" she asked cautiously. Chike nodded, his expression softening for the first time. "It is, but it's also about exploring boundaries, yours and mine. If you're not comfortable, we don't have to proceed." Ada, though a virgin and inexperienced, was drawn to Chike's confidence and mystery. She agreed to explore this new world with him, but deep down, she wondered if she was doing this for herself or simply to please him. As Ada graduated and moved to a new apartment in Ikeja, Chike showered her with gifts: a new car, a laptop, and beautiful clothes. They began their BDSM relationship, starting with light activities like blindfolds and gentle restraints. Ada was unsure if she enjoyed it or just wanted to please Chike. One evening, after a session, she sat alone in her apartment, staring at the contract. She realized she had never truly asked herself what she wanted. Was this relationship fulfilling her, or was she losing herself in Chike's world? Meanwhile, Chike's controlling nature started to show. He didn't like it when Ada mentioned visiting her family in Enugu and surprised her by showing up there. He even took her on a thrilling ride in a hot air balloon, which Ada found both exciting and terrifying. One day, Ada asked Chike to show her his most intense form of punishment. In the Red Room, he tied her up and struck her with a belt, instructing her to count each strike. Ada felt humiliated and realized that Chike enjoyed her suffering in a way she couldn't understand. After the session, Ada told Chike she loved him and wanted a real relationship, not just his rules. But Chike, shaped by his troubled past, couldn't give her the love she needed. My father was a tyrant, he confessed one night. He taught me that control is the only way to protect yourself from pain. I don't know how to love without it. Ada felt heartbroken and trapped. She had hoped to understand him, but now she saw that his need for control was a barrier she couldn't cross. The final straw came when Ada discovered that Chike had sold her car without asking her. She confronted him, declaring that she was done with their relationship. Chike tried to stop her, but Ada was firm. "This isn't about love or trust," she said. "It's about respect, and I deserve better." The story ended with Ada standing in an elevator, her heart heavy but her mind clear. As the doors closed, she whispered, "Goodbye, Chike." She knew she deserved better and was ready to start a new chapter in her life. In the weeks that followed, Ada reconnected with her family in Enugu and began writing again, something she had neglected during her time with Chike. She poured her experiences into a novel, weaving a tale of love, power, and self-discovery. It became a bestseller, and Ada found herself speaking at events, encouraging others to prioritize their well-being and walk away from toxic relationships. One day, as she signed copies of her book at a Lagos bookstore, she caught a glimpse of a familiar face in the crowd. Chike stood at the back, his expression unreadable. For a moment, their eyes met, and Ada felt a pang of sadness for what could have been. But she also felt a surge of pride. She had chosen herself, and that was a story worth telling. The story teaches us that love should be about respect and kindness, not control and pain. It's important to stand up for yourself and walk away from situations that make you unhappy. True empowerment comes from knowing your worth and having the courage to pursue a life that honors it.